Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Your New Home Life in Ottawa and Life on Campus session. My name is Leah Odada, and I'm part of the International Admissions and Recruitment team here at Carleton. And we're so excited to give you a glimpse of what it's like when you're living in Ottawa and living on campus. I'm joined by two of our current students, as well as a representative from the International Student Services Office, and I will give them a chance to introduce themselves before we get started. We'll start with Amira.
Hi everyone, my name is Amira. I'm a fourth year student at Carleton University and I'm a residence fellow on campus. So I have a major in journalism and a double minor in human rights and social justice. And I'm also the fourth year representative for JSOC, which is our journalism society.
Awesome, and then we'll go to Priyanzita.
Hello everyone, my name is Priyansita and I'm currently in my fourth year of aerospace engineering, concentrating in electronics and systems. And I'm also a residence fellow in Lennox and Addington, one of the Carleton residence buildings. And I'm also a global PAL advisor with ISSO.
Awesome, and then we'll go to Neve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Neve O'Shea, and I am the International Student Support Coordinator with the International Student Services Office. And it is so exciting to see you all here today.
Awesome. We're so great to have all of you here joining us. We can't wait to hear what you have to share with our prospective students. We are going to get started talking about residence. And before we dive too deep into the conversation, I would like to take an important moment to acknowledge Carleton University's location and now the location of our residence on the traditional unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. As you start your Carleton journey and life in Canada, part of that will include understanding the importance of Canada's relationship with the Indigenous community. A land acknowledgement is basically a way of recognizing the Indigenous people who are the traditional custodians and knowledge keepers of the land on which we live. This is something that's very important to Carleton, and you'll often see it done in different presentations and learn more about it as you pursue your journey at Carleton. All right, so we're going to start talking about residence. If you're an international student who applied from high school and you've received an offer, you likely saw that your offer included an offer to residence as well. If you applied and received an offer before May 8th, you will get a guaranteed offer to a double traditional room in residence. Carleton has 11 residence buildings with traditional options or suite style options. And here to talk more about the residence experience is one of our great res fellows, Amira. So Amira, why don't you get us started by talking about what a res fellow is and let prospective students know what they can expect from their res fellows.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Leah. I appreciate it. So a res fellow is also known as a don or an RA. Sometimes you'll hear it be called that at other schools, but it's basically your main support system on your floor. So I would be right now in my role, I basically run the community events for my students, and I'm here to help students with mental health to a certain extent, of course. So if there's any situations that I'm not qualified for, I'll relocate them to the appropriate resources, but we do check-ins about 4 a year, and I'll of course do more depending on the circumstances. But we have a ton of events throughout the school year. So I know that it can be really scary coming here from somewhere else and coming here all on your own, but a lot of people are in the same shoes as you. So it's really awesome and comforting to know that a lot of people are in that same position. And we make sure that our students have the opportunity to connect with one another. For example, we have about one community hour a month, which is an event and an opportunity per month for students on the floor to promote floor engagement with one another and to build that community. And then we also have building-wide initiatives throughout the entire school year. So an example of that is we actually recently just had a prom, and we had a prom because our students didn't get prom within the past year or two because of COVID. So we did that, and it was really awesome, really fun for the students to like dress up and to actually have this in-person event because of the COVID restrictions are going down, because the cases are going down. And we've also had like a winter carnival, which is really awesome. And we also had a whole trick-or-treating event during Halloween. And especially actually for our international students, it's been a really valuable experience because a lot of these customs we do are like Canadian traditions that they may have not been exposed to before. And it's the first time that they could trick-or-treat, or the first time they could build a gingerbread house or participate in stuff like this, which is really awesome. Another thing too that we do, like I mentioned earlier, is we have a big emphasis on mental health within our communities. So we have residence fellow chats, which is a time that we get to know our students better, but we also get to check in on their mental health. So that allows that allows the students to have the opportunity to really like speak to us one-on-one and to tell us what's going on, but also to get to know us better and for us to get to know them better. So I guess my main message from this entire thing and this entire aspect is that you're not alone. You have a community and we're all in this together.
That's wonderful. It's great to know that students who are coming to a whole new country and a whole new experience have a lot of support right on the floors, being able to be part of a community with other students who are going through that same transition. We also want to talk about, so if you're living in residence, you also get access to the cafeteria. So students have an unlimited meal plan that allows them to access the state-of-the-art cafeteria that we have on campus. This cafeteria offers a number of different meals that caters to all the different dietary restrictions. Amira, we'd like to hear from you from a student perspective. What do you think about the cafeteria?
Honestly, guys, the cafeteria is awesome. It's honestly so amazing. We actually are ranked, I think it's like the second best cafeteria in Canada. And we also produce like one of the least amount of waste in the entire country. So all of our food goes into the compost. So we aren't producing as much waste, which is also really important and really awesome for the environment, of course, too. The great thing about the caf is not only do we have changing stations every single meal, but we have consistent stations as well. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we'll have different stations that do shift and do change so that you don't get tired of the food. But if there's something that you don't like or something that you don't particularly enjoy that day, we have the consistent stations that include the sandwich bar, the omelet bar, the salad bar, the pasta bar, and those are all areas that you can customize to whatever you want. And we also even actually have an international food grill that has food from all over the world every single meal, and it changes every meal, which is really great. We have a farmer's market area, a vegan area, and all the chicken in the caf is actually halal, which was really important to me because I eat halal meat. And there's also, if you have any dietary restrictions like gluten-free or anything very specific, we have dietitians in the caf as well that will work to you to make sure that the food is tailored to your need. And there's also like a little area where they try like to bring in really great things from Ottawa in general. So like sometimes we'll have like bubble tea, or sometimes we'll have like, you know, just specific like sustainable, like locally grown foods that like you may not try otherwise. Or like those smoothie bowls, like, I don't know, it's a bunch of things that I wouldn't try otherwise that they bring to us, which is really great. And overall, it is definitely inclusive of a lot of different needs.
That's very true. And one of the things that I like also is that if you would like to request a recipe, you can do that. The cafeteria offers that option. So if maybe there's a food in your home country that you're really fond of and you'd like to have it maybe once in a while as you're living in residence, you can request a recipe. You can suggest a recipe and they'll be able to kind of try and make that meal for you. Another key thing is that they have holiday themes. So when I was a student, they had a Harry Potter theme and they transformed our cafeteria into Hogwarts. So they always try to do things to keep things interesting throughout the academic year. So those are great things to look forward to as well.
Yeah, we actually, to add on to that, we had a carnival my first year as well, which was like absolutely incredible. The entire cafeteria was literally turned into a carnival, and we had like candy apples and cotton candy and all of that. It was really great. And you also have something I didn't mention earlier. You basically have unlimited swipes into the caf. It depends if you're in a sweet style or a traditional, but usually you do have about 1,000 swipes, which is unlimited. So even if you just wanted to like go in and like talk to your friend and drink juice, you could do that. You could go in as many times a day, which makes it very unique compared to other university cafeterias, because you're not like going in and swiping like money off of your card per se, but you can go as many times. So you could go once a day, you could go 5 times a day. It's really up to you.
That's really awesome. And I know a lot of students will definitely enjoy that, because if you go in, you miss your friends and you see them coming, you can always go back in with them. So that's definitely a great asset for our cafeteria. So speaking about places where you can gather together as a community, we also have a lot of different spaces on campus within residence where students can gather together, meet students from other floors, such as the Ravens Roost. Amira, I know it wasn't open during the pandemic, but maybe you can share a little bit about the Ravens Roost and what it is and what kind of space it is for students.
So the Ravens Roost is actually an area for students to come in during the allocated times and socialize with each other. We have a foosball table, ping pong table, that table in the picture that I'm forgetting the name of right now, for you to play Billiards. Yeah, that we have that table as well. We have a bunch of different options, but what I actually used this room for this past year is I facilitated the BIPOC affinity group, and the BIPOC affinity group was basically a safe space for racialized students on campus to connect and to get to know each other throughout the year. So it was kind of like a club, and we met about once or twice a year, and we did it in this space. So we would have different events like just about a week or two ago, we had trivia nights. We had like a bunch of different cahoots, and we had prizes, and we had a bunch of like icebreakers. So everybody got to know each other. And it's great because every single month we have a whole different group of students. And then we have some students that join us again every month, but it's like you get to meet new people constantly. And it really allows that space and enables you to have that space to just meet other students that have similar lived experiences, which I think is really, really important, especially within your first year. So yeah, it's overall a space to socialize, meet other people, and you can even go in there and just do your homework if you wanted to.
That's really great. And you've shared a lot of great things about residence, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for what residence has to offer. What advice would you give prospective students who are just about to make that move into residence?
The biggest thing I would say when going into residence is you just have to go in with an open mind, because your experience is going to be whatever you allow it to be. If you go in and, you don't really talk to anybody and you stay in your room all day, like you're not going to have the greatest experience, because you have to put yourself out there, and it's genuinely going to be whatever you make it. So speaking from my own experience, my very first year on residence, I actually came with a few of my friends from high school, and I felt like that might have even limited me a little bit with like putting myself out there and meeting new people. And my fourth year now, being a residence fellow, I'm exposed to like all these new people, and it's honestly a really awesome experience because it forces you to put yourself out there. I would just say, as long as you really grasp every opportunity around you, it's like the best thing you can do, and it's the best thing you can try out, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if you love it, you'll never know, right? Unless you try it. So all of those community events are honestly available to you, and they're going to be there for you to try. It's just up to you if you actually want to try them.
That's awesome advice. Thank you so much, Amira, and thank you so much for sharing your perspective on residence and showing prospective students what they can expect. So a few dates and deadlines to keep in mind. As I mentioned, we do have a guaranteed residence offer for students who are applying directly from high school. You have to have all your documents submitted by May 13th to receive the guaranteed residence offer. If you'd miss that deadline, you can apply for residence. However, it would be a non-guaranteed option where you go into a lottery system. So it's very important to keep those dates in mind. The deadline to accept your offer of residence for those who have received it is June 8th. So you do have to accept the offer by that date and pay the deposit. Thank you so much, Amira. So we've talked about residence and all that residence has to offer. So now we want to talk about Ottawa as a larger city. And joining us is Neve from the International Student Services Office to take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am loving the energy that I'm seeing in the chat. There's great questions being asked. So I am here on behalf of the International Student Services Office, or ISSO, which is dedicated to supporting Carleton's international student community. So we are here to help international students adjust to life in Canada and to assist them in making the most out of their student experience. We offer a variety of services and programs to help you at all stages of your university journey, from pre-arrival support and resources to help with your social, cultural, and academic transition, all the way to assistance with navigating your post-graduation plans. Right now, you're probably most interested in knowing how we can support you in settling into life in Canada. Our office is the place to contact if you have questions about study permits and immigration, health insurance, and navigating life in Ottawa. You can contact our office directly for advice by emailing isso@carleton.ca, and also make use of summer webinars, videos, and question and answer sessions on topics like applying for study permits and travel in quarantine. Upcoming programs and events will be communicated in partnership with International Admissions and Recruitment Office, so please make sure to watch for their communication throughout the summer. We also offer an international student orientation course called iStart that launches in July that will help you understand more about what you can expect in Ottawa and as part of the Carleton University community. Topics covered include Carleton resource information, classroom expectations, staying safe, transit, and much more. Students are encouraged to complete this course before arrival in Ottawa because it helps you to build a strong foundation of knowledge to help you succeed in your first semester. Then, in early September, you can participate in our International Welcome Program, which includes fun activities that help you to get to know the city, connect with other students and campus staff, and develop new skills for your time here. So speaking of fun activities, for many students, building lasting friendships and making the most of your time outside of the classroom is really important. Our office provides opportunities for you to explore the city of Ottawa, build community, and participate in some quintessential Canadian experiences. You can try winter pastimes like snowshoeing, which is an Indigenous method of travel that allows you to hike through deep snow and explore winter landscapes, and learn more about Canada's national sport, hockey, which is a fast-paced game that takes place on ice skates. Since we're located in Canada's capital city, you can join us to visit many of our national museums and even borrow skates from our office to try skating on the world's largest ice skating rink, the Rideau Canal, which is located just steps away from residents. We also host community socials like cooking classes, organize group visits to Ottawa events, host an annual photography competition, and so much more. The ISSO also offers many educational workshops that address topics of interest for international students at various points in their time at Carleton. Some of our workshops provide you with information you need to understand unique international student responsibilities, such as complying with immigration rules and understanding access to health insurance in Canada. Other programs are focused on helping you to succeed in navigating life in Canada, like finding housing, understanding employment, and preparing for Canadian weather and culture. You can see Reba here. This is a short video of her sharing how she gets ready for the outdoors in wintertime. You'll find out about all these events through a bi-weekly newsletter that we send to international students throughout the year. We recognize that international students have unique questions and concerns as they live and learn abroad, and the ISSO is dedicated to providing you with timely and useful information. One of my favorite programs is the Global PALS program. PALS stands for Global Peer Advisors Lending Support, and this is a peer mentorship program where you can connect with a current international student to ask questions and get tips on student life. And I will hand this presentation over to Priyanzita, one of our amazing Global Peer Advisors, who will share more about this program.
Thank you, Neve. Hi, everyone. It's really good to see the amount of questions coming in and loving the everyone's engagement here. So since my first year, I've actually been a part of many extracurricular activities all around Carleton, and I have had the opportunity to work with different departments such as the Student Experience Office, Carleton Residence, the Center for Student Academic Support, ISSO, etc. And I must say that being a Global PAL was definitely one of my most favorite positions. So the Global PALS program is a perfect bridge that is needed between new international students and the Carleton community, because I think for an international student, a Global PAL is the first point of communication from Carleton, because we connect with students before the fall term even starts. So during the one-on-one sessions that we have with students, they have the space to ask any questions regarding, let's say, the Carleton campus, their academics, the different extracurricular activities that are available in Carleton, on or off campus jobs. And not only that, sometimes the conversations also extend to learning more about the city. For example, what kind of food places are available, different sightseeing places here, etc. So overall, Global PALS is basically like a bundle of resource for the new international students, and we stay connected with them not only during the first month or so, but throughout the year to connect them with the different resources as they may need. So according to me, like personally, one of my favorite parts about being a part of the Global PAL program is that I got the opportunity to know many international students who come from different backgrounds, different cultures, etc. And throughout the year, I tried to be the resource that I wish I had in my first year as an international student. So definitely, it's an amazing program and highly recommended.
That's great to hear. And Priya, you came here as an international student yourself. How can you talk about the experience you had What advice would you give to students who are about to make that same move themselves as they navigate moving to a new city?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of my recommendations for new international students would be never hesitate to ask for help at any point, because everyone around you is probably going through something similar or have gone through something similar. So feel free to ask for help. And another thing to note is that be involved in the Carleton community as much as you can. There are so many different experiences that are waiting. There for you, so definitely take that opportunity. And there are so many different clubs under the CUSA, which is the Carleton University Student Association, and you can join basically anything based on your interests, academics, extracurriculars, etc. So, for example, I was a part of CUPSA, which basically stands for Carleton University Bangladesh Student Association, where I got the opportunity to meet many Bengalis and attend many cultural events. And it was definitely a very fun experience for me when I started off as a first year in Carleton. So, definitely, my overall tip for university as an international student would be don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. And yes, do focus on academics for sure, but also explore the city, live those experiences, and have fun.
That is really great advice. And we have reached the end of our session, but I hope that our prospective students gain some valuable information. We will be at the chat booths at the end of the event. If you have any questions, if any questions were not answered during this session, for now, just thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to our speakers, and we hope that you all enjoy the rest of the event.